Speaking of Web3 going mainstream, the New York Times has potentially finally capitulated that Bitcoin is here to stay. This tweet is, of course, the one that alerted all of us to this very funny, do I smell capitulation? The actual article is pretty interesting, and I will just read a couple of quotes here that I thought were particularly important. Even as the price of Bitcoin fell precipitously in 2022, the overall percentage of people in the United States owning crypto grew to 11% from 3% in just a year.
That's stunning.
Right? Oh, so exciting. It's at 12% this year, according to the National Bureau of Economic Research. And I guess I just want to go to say that the article goes on to talk about the kinds of people that are investing, or I take issue with the word investing, and they actually break that down in this article too, because an investment typically pays some sort of dividend. You have some sort of say over what's happening, right? Mm-hmm. None of those things happen in Bitcoin. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. It's more of a store of value in that way, right? It's just like something where you
converting.
Can... Yes, much better, yes. So the kinds of people that are converting their funds from fiat to Bitcoin are young and predominantly male. The percentages here are 41% of men ages 18 to 29 reported having owned or used cryptocurrency, and just 16% of women in that same age range had reported owning or using cryptocurrency. So that's 41% men, 16% women. These numbers don't surprise me one bit. And that's because, as the Nordic countries have shown us, right, men and women have differences in interests. The more equal opportunity places become, the more the sexes diverge based on those interests. Women are more interested in people, men are more interested in things.
Quite true.
Bitcoin sits right at the intersection of tech and finance, which is the thing, fully in the things category. Mm-hmm. And so often when you go and look at a crypto project, you'll see that the woman on the team is in the marketing department, because that involves talking to other people. Mm-hmm. And I also think that there's just like part of us, just to kind of get into that, you know, the gender conversation that's roaring on Twitter these days, having just had a baby, that that we each have these sort of innate aspects of ourselves because of our gender, and that men sort of innately understand that they are going to need to provision for their family for a period of time when their partner is unable to. And that means, you know, looking for opportunity, and opportunity means taking on some risk. Men are, in general, more comfortable with taking on risk, which I would say you and I can attest to in our own personal experience.
We certainly can, yes. And women are much less likely to be open to
Not
risk.
me, never. Oh.
Yep.
Anyway, I think that trying to make this something that is, you know, sure, there is definitely a toxic crypto bro culture, but there is absolutely space for women who are genuinely interested in this. And that also means, though, not forcing women into something that they're not genuinely interested in, which is something that I have sort of felt in most recent years. Like, it used to be that I was either the only woman in the room, 10 years ago, or one of very few. Now there are more, and that's wonderful to see. But I also sometimes feel like before it was just clear to everyone that I was there because I was interested and had something to contribute. And now sometimes I feel nervous that it has something that I'm being lifted up because of my gender. And I really don't like that. I really, really, really like being earning it and having it be because of merit. Mm-hmm. And that is, so, that's just something that I think needs to be said when people are criticizing, like, who owns crypto, who's involved in crypto, because The other thing that I wanted to mention really quickly is that there is a reason that it's the people that are, under 30 that are predominantly interested in this. And that's because it's a chance to, how do I articulate what it's a chance to? It's a chance to have the kind of prosperity that was afforded to other generations that we are lacking as well. I'm a millennial.
Yeah, you're right on the edge. I'm Gen X, she's a millennial. Just who knows where that line really is? Yeah.
And this tweet went viral a while ago that just the numbers make this crystal clear, right? Millennials hold 4.8% of all wealth. And there are now 40-year-old millennials. At the same age, Gen X had 9% of wealth and boomers had 21%. That really, it's not in our heads, guys. It's not the avocado toast that's making us not be able to buy houses, right? And if you scroll down a little bit, there's a tweet where somebody says, I'm curious what happens to these numbers when you remove the billionaires from each generation. And he ran the numbers and said Mark Zuckerberg single-handedly has 2% of millennial wealth. So the numbers get even worse.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's why Bitcoin is hope for a lot of us to be able to, buy houses, maybe even retire. Wouldn't that be crazy?
Kidding, wouldn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.